Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
7:37, O'Connor and Company here this busy Tuesday morning. Thanks for being part of it. Coming up at 8:05, Dr. David Samadi. He appeared with Megyn Kelly yesterday. He appears with us today to talk about, well, the Biden cancer diagnosis and, well, the truth behind it, perhaps, or at least what we can glean from it. I'm Larry O'Connor alongside Julie Gunlock. Julie, yesterday, President Trump had a 2-hour-plus conversation with Vladimir Putin. Afterwards, he immediately called for negotiations. And Pope Leo XIV has now jumped into the fray and suggested that the Vatican could be a place for these two warring parties to get together and try to negotiate a peace deal. General Jack Keane joins us now, retired four-star general, and he's chairman of the Institute for the Study of War and a Fox News senior strategic analyst. General Keane, always good to talk with you.
Yeah, delighted to be here, Larry.
Well, from your position here, what do you see in the president's statement, the length of this phone call, and where things stand now? This also on the heels of Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky in the last 48 hours as well.
I think it's pretty much more of the same, and when you reflect on what's happening here, President Trump's motivations during the campaign and since he became president is to end this war. He genuinely and I think sincerely wants to stop the killing, and he refers to it as a bloodbath. And he also would want to maintain good relations with Putin going forward. Where Putin is coming at this is quite different. He rejected the ceasefire again. And when you look at it from the perspective of Putin, because it's not in his interest to go to a ceasefire, he fundamentally believes if he goes to a ceasefire, then the pressure is off the administration to grant him major concessions. Given the president's motivation to stop the killing, what Putin has done, it's in his interest to keep the war going to get major concessions. So he's increased the targeting of civilians. He has pumped new recruits to the front line with less than a month's training. The casualties on the Russian side have gone from the high 30,000 per month during 2024 to now in 2025 to the high 40,000, edging up to 50,000. In other words, he is interested in keeping that bloodbath going to put pressure on the administration. He also drags out negotiations, as we have seen for weeks. And it's going to happen again with the Ukrainians wherever they meet. The place is irrelevant. He'll drag these negotiations out because he knows the president wants to do this with a sense of urgency. And he wants to put pressure on the president and Zelensky to make concessions. The third thing that's happening, he talks to the president and tells him in so many words, I have the same objective you have. I want peace, and I want to normalize relations with you so we can get back to having good trade relations for the economic benefit of all of us. Why is he saying that to the president? Because he doesn't want the president to slap sanctions on him, and the sanctions they have in mind now, oil, gas, uranium, and its impact on the countries that are doing that would be significant. So that's the motivation going in here, and it's not surprising. Rejection of ceasefire, going to negotiations, which would likely be dragged out some more, all in Putin's interest. It's time to get tough with him and take the gloves off.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Russia continues to strike Ukraine. We saw that this week. I mean, when you say it's time to get tough, what would your recommendation be for Trump? I mean, he is continuing to talk to him. He it seems like from the White House that they think that this is progress. And I agree with you. These negotiations for a ceasefire, these negotiations to sit down, they're not talking about a ceasefire. They're negotiating sitting down. So, and I agree with you. He's going to it's going to take forever to get to that point. What would you recommend? What's the next step for Trump?
There's no amount of negotiations, Julie, that are going to take place here that are going to get Putin to make major concessions, because he wants Ukraine vulnerable so that he can eventually take it over. He's never given up that aspiration. The only thing he really understands is force. And in this case, the economic package that Lindsey Graham and 72 other senators have put together are crippling sanctions. He has economic woes already as he put his whole economy on a war footing, and that's deprived him of certain revenue sources by doing that, because he's spending so much money on the defense industrial base. So he's in a poor position to accept these sanctions, and that's why he plays so nice with the president, not wanting to ruin the relationship. He knows if the president hits him hard with sanctions, the relationship gets ruined. And he's hoping that the president maintaining those relationships will actually give him the leverage he wants. So that has to happen. The second thing is robust military assistance. That is something that Putin pays close attention to. And he knows full well, look, in 39 months, he's pretty much in the same place he was when the war began. When you look at an ISW, Institute for the Study of War map, 39 months later, and all of these people, 900,000 casualties, he has nothing really to show for it. And he knows full well that the reality is he has got to get these concessions done, and that's why he's willing to do it. And if military aid is continuing to flow, that means on the 40th month, the 41st month, the 42nd month, he's not making much progress because he can't do that. He cannot take the country down if they're receiving assistance.
All right, we got to leave it there, General Keane. Thank you for joining us. All eyes are on these negotiations, and hopefully something will come of it. Appreciate it.